What is up, guys? How's it going? It is Uncle Bob. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. We are here to probably do a bunch of grinding today. That's probably going to be what our day consists of, because we found at the end of this dungeon, they sell these shuriken things that are, we'll just say that they're beyond expensive. And I don't know how much this game wants me to get these things. So we're just going to spend at least an episode, maybe another. We'll see what kind of progress we make. But I just want to sit here and just grind out a little bit and see what we can do. But we also have to sell a bunch of stuff. Well, maybe we don't. Let's... Okay, Masamune and Kiko. Ribbon, crystal. All right, let's do our new jobs here. What am I doing? Ninja. Ooh, that looks sexy. Masamune, whatever. I call it Masamune, and I don't give a fuck. Body, arms. All right. 2 kotetsus and a bunch of crystals. All right. Get them back equipped. Hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday. It is the last day of my vacation week. A vacation week in which I spent 3 of the days out of my 5 days off working, but you know, need the money, you got to do what you got to do. Did not go to work today, but still ended up going, and wait. Does the ultimate staff petrify? What does he have? Whatever. Alright, the sage looks kind of lame. Not like ridiculously lame, but lame enough. Alright, and one more. Looks much closer to the white mage here. Alright, it's so much cheaper for you. Maybe because you're a white mage. Maybe that's the... But yeah, today has been, what is it now? Day 4 of living in the, once again, Trump's America. Today was a good day. Today I spent less time yelling at the right and a little bit more going back at the left today. We're spreading the love. We're spreading the love. Let's see. Flare. Give him 1 white spell. Just like Ingus can have 1 black spell and that'll be death, even though that's probably useless. All right, well, let's do a little bit of grinding. This is why I used to call these, when I first started this hobby, like, now it feels like almost 4 years ago. It should be like 4 years ago. I used to call them loose plays because, like, I wanted it to be not just relaxed in terms of the attitude and style of everything, but also, if you were watching, listen, you got to deal with everything that I got to deal with. If I got to grind, you're stuck doing it with me. We're on a joint adventure here, fellas. So, this is probably going to be a little bit more of a boring couple episodes, but I don't know when else I'm going to be able to get these. I don't know where else I'm going to be able to get these shurikens, and from what I looked up, they seem super OP. So, I'm going to want a good collection of these. You know what? Skirt in the front row. We got a revive pond right next to us. But yeah, I guess that's perfect today, because I'm still in the process of getting a wee bit drunk. Damn. Yeah, my glass is, well, it's not glass. We're being a peasant today and drinking scotch out of a plastic cup. But, you know, listen, we're here enjoying the good stuff one way or the other. Hell yeah. Having this right up here just, oh. Yeah, I think it was like 10,000 gold for fucking one thing. One shuriken. One singular shuriken. But yeah, these job classes need a little bit of, they need their skill shit up a bit, you know? Yeah. That's what it's about right there. But yeah, listen, I grew up in a Mexican family. Like, I have family that are Catholic. I definitely have family that are, that had voted for Donald Trump in this election. And let's just say I've already started posting some spicy shit. And I have had, people who I am somewhat close with being like, I feel like some of that is kind of directed towards me. And, I have to kind of tell them, like, listen, you voted for a guy who one of the things he was running on, especially if you're looking at the Project 2025 thing, was an elimination of the Department of Education. Now, my son is special needs, so he relies on IEPs to help keep him on track for where his education needs to be going. And that is funded through the Department of Education. So it's like, listen, I don't know if we're still friends right now. I know the idea of, unfriending people over politics is, seen as silly, but it's like, bro, you voted, whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, you voted for a guy who's made it an express goal to fuck over my kid and his possible future education potential. You can't vote for people like that and then wonder why people treat you differently. Now, I'm sure there's versions on the left that people on the right will be like, well, we'll say the exact same thing about whatever it was that I just said. Now, obviously, I would disagree with them, and I would argue with them as such, but at least on this side, like, that's how I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it the way that it is to me. And the way it is to me is you don't get to vote in a way that fucks over my child's education. And then be like, what, we can't be friends though? It's like, I mean, I don't know, dog. Would you? All this so you could have fucking cheaper eggs, you cocksucker? Yeah, I know it's not that simple, of course. It's the price of living. But I've said it in other videos. I am one of the people who supports the things that kept our price of goods so high. And I don't just have 2 kids. I drive guaranteed more on my way to work than most people I know do. Every day my commute is at a minimum of 60 miles for my daily commute. That's more than most people I know. It's not the most in the world. It's not the fucking end-all, be-all. But it's more than most people I know. And it's like, listen, I pay for it at the pump. Now, granted, even being in a very Democrat-leaning state like Illinois, our gas is now getting to be under $3. Like, our gas is looking fine. Our gas is looking decento. It's not super far off from what it used to be. Excellent. So it's like, no, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that hard to break bread with you right now. Paying higher price for food to, keep a candidate in who wants my child to be properly educated, just because he has special needs. That's worth it to me. Yeah, would I like the price of goods to go down also? Yes. But a big part of that is where we stand internationally. And I am one of those people who definitely stands for helping out Ukraine. Because it's not the money we give Ukraine that's making the price of anything so high. We're giving them fucking war bonds and shit. There's nothing about the money we give them that's really attributed. It's what it mainly is now, I could be mistaken. Somebody who's more educated than me, please correct me. I would love to be corrected. But I could have sworn that I remember learning that the price of oil was equalized all over the world, in that even though Russian oil is what's kind of I don't know if I'd call it a commodity right now. I don't know if that's the word I'd use for it. But Russian oil is obviously not doing so good with them in the middle of a war. And because their oil's not doing so good, for obvious reasons, the price of their oil is more expensive. And that creates an equalizing effect on oil everywhere else in the world. So that way, oil prices remain stable for basically everyone. So it affects us. But, I'm not willing and don't want to have cheaper goods just to basically tell Ukraine, hey, listen, I know in 1990 you gave up your nukes, and Russia and America both signed agreements saying that, nobody would fuck with you. But, Russia invaded you, and this is going on too long, and we don't really care anymore about you, so, Trump's just going to make Ukraine just sign a deal or threaten to cut their aid. That's what's going to happen. And I said this before. There's a part of me that obviously I understand that there will be net less lives lost because of that, very least on the short run. I don't know if I would agree with that long term, but at least short term, I can see where that's a thing that can happen. But my thing is that, and I don't know, maybe it's like, maybe there's something being raised in a conservative house. Maybe there's a little bit of neocon in me. But there's a part of me that it's like, internationally, like, what does America's word mean if we tell another country, hey, yeah, we support you in this endeavor, like Ukraine. But then, like, 30 years later, just because, you know, our politics is schizophrenic, you know, all of a sudden, we just cut out that deal. And, you know, it's not even about, like, oh, well, why do you care what the rest of the world thinks about us? It's like, it's not necessarily about what they think about us. It's that, what happens to, like, honor, integrity? Like, what happens to all of those things? Because at least in my mind, being an American, the word of America as a nation, the word of America is supposed to mean something. And if we're just willing to just throw our allies to the wolves, I mean, for real, what does our word even mean? Like, these are the things that I'm not willing to give up simply in the name of lower prices of goods. I think the temporary hit from that globally is better. Because I'm still I want the left to start claiming themselves as being real American patriots. That's what we need. We are the fucking patriots. Fuck this shit. I'm tired of sitting here pretending like all these people who want to make sure that nobody gives a fuck about, you know, the American word or striking a deal with America. Like, these people who don't care about America on the big stage, fuck these people. Isolationism. You know, when 10 years ago especially, when the political compass was really big, everybody always like, now, are they the most accurate things in the world? Obviously not. But everybody always used to say, oh, well, you know, it's not just, you know, liberal and conservative and authoritarian and libertarian. That's not all there is. It's more complex than that. In a sense, kind of it is. But if you want to keep it in the same format, what it's really missing is that it's not a 2D square. It's a 3D cube. And the thing that a lot of people didn't realize is that third dimension is globalism and isolationism. And this bend that our country has had towards isolationism is just, it's not for me. I want the word of America on the global stage to mean something. You know, conservatives, even if you want to play it the fucking old school neocon game that the conservatives do, they're like, well, under Trump, we used to be feared. Nobody was feared. How is anybody going to fear America? Not that I even want countries to fear us, but even if that was your goal, who's going to be scared of an America that doesn't, like, stand by its own allies? That will just willingly give up just to benefit itself. There's no integrity there. There's no honor there. There's no American spirit in any of that shit. These people are anti-American. These people are unpatriotic. They are un-American as whatever the opposite of fucking apple pie is. Whatever the opposite of apple pie is, that's what they are. How much gold do I get for this guy? That I can kill in one hit. Oh, for one hit? That's so much more worth it down here. Okay. That's less gold, but for one hit, that's... Psh, psh. Easiest choice in the world. These people are just willing to throw our allies to the wolves, not give a fuck, just because it doesn't benefit them. Because right now we're just reaching an era of isolationism in America. It's like America's been poisoned in like the post 9/11 shit and post like war in the Middle East. That now they just want to pull out of everything, no matter the consequence. And, you know, they sit there and like, they all made jokes like, oh yeah, Kamala's going to get us involved in World War III. Bro, you don't think somebody like fucking Vladimir Putin, after all this war effort, just giving him fucking, what was it? Donetsk, Luhansk, was it part of Zaporozhia? Crimea. I forget some of these areas' names now. It's been a long time since I've really paid attention to it. My apologies. But all of these areas Russia gets to keep? Like, you don't think that allowing a dictator to just get away with shit like that on the international stage, especially with a politician like Donald Trump, who was known for being very, very buddy-buddy with this asshole. It's like, you don't think that that's not gonna further the path to World War III? You don't think that's what fuels expansionism, is having, even though we're not their ally, just having people who just won't do anything about it? You don't think that's helping? I think these people are insane. And again, I've said this before. I get it. It's all vibes. You saw things were cheaper under Trump, and that's all you know. That's all you care about. Your brain cannot move any further. It is stuck at the most like base level of analyses. And there's a certain part of it that, at least until the tariffs at least take hit, there's a certain bit of it that might actually be true. But the amount of betrayal on, like, America's honor, integrity, it's in every way anti-American. Bro, I saw somebody. I don't know if I can find this. Because I don't know if it was like a person that shared it or it was like a name. I'm gonna, as soon as this battle's over, I'm gonna pause it because I want to check something real quick. Fuck that guy. Get him stoned. Ya da 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 da. Alright. I made sure to cut out a name. But, like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm not sure where I have to scroll up to make sure it's all visible. But the pictures like that are what I mean. That picture, while it may just seem like a goofy AI picture like they all are, conservatives don't understand. That picture is like the exact antithesis of what the Statue of Liberty is supposed to be about and for. Doesn't it say something like, give me you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry? You know, not you're fucking, you're white, you're privileged, and you're well-fed. Like, that's against every single American idea that I was raised to believe in. And it's amazing. These people are so anti-American. And yet we allow them, as Democrats, who I would say truly live by the ideals of freedom and liberty in this country. it's high time we stop letting these motherfuckers get away with pretending like they're the patriotic ones. They're not. It's not even close. They're not. These people are the furthest thing from patriots. Damn, that's a lot of damage. There we go. Now we're starting to lay the smack on him a little bit. Now we're getting some hits in. Rude. That's fucking right. But yeah, then I get to argue with people on the left who are like, oh, well, you know, Joe Biden allowed a genocide in Israel, so, you know, I know a lot of people who just couldn't vote for Kamala. And it's like, well, listen, I'm glad your life, when you don't have, you know, like I said, a kid with special needs who depends on something like the Department of Education, I'm glad that all of your friends who are so mad about Israel-Gaza, not like I don't have problems with America's role in that conflict. You know, I largely agree with where we stand. Where, you know, as shitty as it is to say, if we're just playing a numbers game, you know, the usual death ratio of combatants to civilians in modern war, in like urban warfare, is usually one combatant for every 10 civilians. Israel has been, the last I checked, which was about a month ago, they were doing 1 to 4, which is a lot less civilians compared to the norm. Now, does that mean I'm completely satisfied with where the state of affairs is with Israel-Palestine? Obviously not. But I think people on the left have a hard time realizing that, like, things can always get worse. Because at very least, we were able to cut down by 60% what the usual ratio of combatants to civilians is in Israel-Gaza, by at very least being more of a voice of restraint. But you get Trump who's like, I'm just going to give Netanyahu the green light. Finish the fight. You know, Halo 3, finish the fight. That's his mentality. Or his mentality, their mentality. I was just arguing this with the person who, you know, obviously, dude. But I had just been arguing this with someone, so. If it sounded like I was personally talking about one specific person right now, I was. And I get it. He's from the Middle East, so he's got a view on this. But, you know, he sits there and he's like, are you really trying to sit there and tell me that genocide is better? Or is, that genocide light is better than genocide? And it's like, speaking as someone who, all of my ancestors on at least one half of my family are all from the American side of the globe and were genocided and raped by the Europeans. At least with my family, specifically the Spanish. Spanish had their hands real dirty where my family comes from. Whether it's my ancestors in the Americas or in Southeast Asia. The Spaniards were kind of a little bit of everywhere involving where my bloodline goes. Kind of funny. But, you know, I don't like when people try playing the fucking genocide card with me. And it's like, listen, I have family in the Americas. Aunts, uncles, family, loved ones. I don't know why I'm curing people who don't need to be cured. I have family who, to this day, live on reservations. Yes, genocide light is better than genocide. I'm sorry. And, the thing is he didn't want to admit that the Democrats partake in genocide light. He's like, it's all the same. And it's like, listen, you can say that you don't think that the Democrats really care, but I tell you what, I can deal with people who fake caring and pretend to care on a political level than people who say, let's just fucking glass them. There's a very wide difference between feigned sympathy and antagonism. There's a big, if it very least not a big gap between them, there is at very least a deep gap between them. So like, no, I don't accept this. And people are like, yeah, I know people that just couldn't bring themselves to vote for Kamala. It's like, well, then you know what? Then I'm glad that all of those people are so well off that they are unaffected by that decision. But, as somebody who, at least in my mind, I want, at very least in Israel, Gaza, I want less people dying, not more. And between the two groups, while Israel is in the midst of a firefight, between Harris and Trump, the choice between which side was going to be a higher voice of restraint, the choice is clear. And to me, and I think this is the part that I said to him that really, this person that really made him mad, I had said that, in my mind, hold on. Anyway. Sorry, I just got my attention pulled out to something completely unrelated that also frustrated the shit out of me. Dun 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 dun. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I didn't pay attention to Pingus Dingus. No, Dingus. Good, aim for literally anyone else. But no, it's like, I'm glad all of these people who, can be so mad about something that they are willing to let, like, literally tens of thousands of special needs kids, even take my kid out of it. Like, even take out the take out the part that I'm biased against. You're basically willing to be like, okay, well, this international conflict, I don't see it getting better. So fuck all these special needs kids that actually might need the support. Oh yeah, this is where I found it. Look at the obvious spot. That's the place to look. All right. Oh my God, they're so expensive. That's just for 4. I did less than that for 4. Bruh, that's brutal. I mean, I don't know if I healed or not, but we're going to heal anyway. That is rancid, bro. That's so bad. That's so bad. I did spend most of my time in this room, though. The ninjas are just not very good for grinding. Like, none of my party members are really in immediate danger of being killed by him. Just that he doesn't take one hit like some of those sea beasts down below do. But yeah, 65,000 for one. Jesus. And just looking at this guy's name, you know, the guy I was arguing with was probably, you know, of Arab descent. So, you know, I know that the Israel-Gaza conflict is a little bit closer to home. But it's like, bro, don't play the genocide card on somebody who lives in a country where it was done to, like, him and his family. Don't play that card with me. That's fucking bullshit. Especially when the party that got voted in is, like, out there. Like, when Trump first got elected, he was trying to actually do, like, a Muslim ban. And was looking for ways to do it. And it's like, this is the guy that you think is going to be the same thing for people in the Middle East than Biden? The guy who let Jerusalem get made into the where the American embassy was in Israel, like, stoking those tensions, like, though, that's the side that you think is going to be better off, or that it's no different? I don't know, man. I just don't understand people. I can understand the dumbness in a sense from the other side, but that level of dumbness from my side is infuriating for me. But oh well. It's fine, because starting next year, I'm going to do the plan that I set in motion. Or that I guess I will set in motion. Thing is I got to start recruiting people who are members of the Democrat Party in other states. And just get them on fucking... Just get in communication with them. Just be like, hey, I see that you're, you know, you're somebody who's a registered Democrat in, you know, state this one. Stay on call, because next, in a year, we're going to get moving, and I'm going to need you. Because not only you, but you'll need to find other people that you can get politically motivated. For reals, for reals. Oh, well. But that is going to be it for the day, guys. Christ almighty, I did all of that for just one singular shuriken. Basically what I did just now. So, alright, guys. That is going to be it for the day. I will talk to y'all tomorrow with some of the Enigma of Terra. So, I'll see y'all then. Peace.